Hi, super quick one today. I want to talk about productivity. What is it? I want to talk about productivity growth. What is that? So let's just start with a very simple concept here. You take something, you do something to it, and you create something else. So these inputs are things like labor, right? These are things like capital. These are things like raw materials. It could be something like electricity, right? These are the things you take and you put them together and you make something. What are you making? You're making a widget. You're making whatever the product is. So this would be, given those inputs, I'm able to create, three of these products, or maybe given the same inputs, I'm able to create six of these objects, where I'm able to create nine. So obviously, the more the output is, the better things seem to be, right? So that's what we're talking about in terms of productivity. In fact, you can just think of productivity as a simple formula, right? The output to the input, right? So the more output you have given the same amount of input, or the smaller the input given a set output, the better, right? That's all we're talking about here. We talk about workplace productivity. We're just talking about how much work actually gets done. So we all go to the office, we sit around the water cooler, we drink our coffee, whatever, but how much work actually gets done? That's what we're talking about in terms of workplace productivity. Also, if you think about just economies in general, kind of almost the driving force for improving a standard of living is improving that productivity. It's almost the crucial aspect of that out there. So as economies, we want to continually improve our productivity, because that productivity directly leads to improving standard of living for the populace as a whole. Here in the US, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, part of the US Department of Labor, puts out some information regarding labor productivity. You can see that updated regularly, once a month, etc., on their website. And others, of course, like me, will reference that. Here, for example, is a chart where we look at productivity growth. So the change in that output to input over time. We can see it for various periods here, not exactly decades, but you can kind of see different periods, and it varies from period to period. But one of the things that you might have noticed here is that recently, so 2007 to 2020, that growth is almost flat. Like there almost is no growth compared to the 7 years prior to that period, where it was very high, 4.4%. So the question here, of course, is what's going on, which is really why I put together this video, because I want to talk about some more interesting things when it comes to productivity and productivity growth here in the United States and globally. Something seems to be a little bit strange here. Anyway, happy trading out there. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Brian Kozlowski.